playing the national anthem and the invocation given by Pastor Claude Thomas.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a great opportunity to be here to celebrate Mr. Brian Roldan and his service and his commitment to the U.S. Army. I know him as just Brian, but I think everyone in the room can agree that he is one of the best servant leaders that we all know. And when thinking about this morning and what we could say and do to honor Brian, I think about Psalm 37, where it says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. And anytime anyone commits to over 25 years in one field, I think it's safe to say that God has been with him all along, as well as he and his family. So I would love to take a moment just to pause and pray over Brian before we continue. So please bow your heads. God, we thank you for this occasion where we get to celebrate the commitment, the honor that Brian has given to this country to keep people protected and safe. God, we know that truly this is just the beginning. Because he's given 25 years to the Army. We're grateful for that, but we also know that his steps are ordered by you. And what retirement looks like and what everything is going to happen after this, we know that you already go before him. So we pray that today Brian would feel honored, celebrated, and that you would be glorified. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the official party. To my left and your right, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Newgate, Battalion Commander of the Raleigh Recruiting Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Thomas Putnam, Command Sergeant Major of the Raleigh Recruiting Battalion, and First Sergeant Roldan. Today's ceremony culminates a distinguished career of 25 years of active service in the United States Army and formally recognizes First Sergeant Brian Roldan's accomplishments. First Sergeant Brian Roldan was born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey, where he enlisted in the United States Army in May of 1997. Upon completion of basic and advanced individual training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, he was assigned to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and began his career as a wheeled vehicle mechanic. In 2000, he graduated the Army Recruiting Course. In 2003, he was deployed to Iraq with the 51st Signal Battalion Airborne. First Sergeant Roldan holds an associate degree in business administration, a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts from Excelsior College. His military education includes primary leadership development course, basic non-commissioned officer course, advanced non-commissioned officer course, an armory recruiting course, wheeled vehicle recovery course, hazmat course, combat life salaries course, senior master trainer course, unit prevention leader course, equal opportunity leader course, Master Resiliency course, Training and Development Middle Manager course, Facilitator course, Total Army Instructor Training course, Advanced Joint Professional Military course, Recruiting Company Command, and First Rank course. First Rank Roldan's previous assignments include Field Mechanic for 58th Transportation, Fort Leonard Wood, Senior Mechanic, 272nd Infantry Division, Camp Casey, Korea, Army Recruiter, the Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Williamsboro, New Jersey, Motor Sergeant, 51st Signal Battalion, Fort Bragg, Army Recruiter, Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Camden, New Jersey, Station Commander, Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Rio Grande and Finland, New Jersey, Senior Master Trainer, Mid-Atlantic Recruiting Battalion, Lakehurst, New Jersey, Instructor, Recruiting and Retention School, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Division Chief, Recruiting and Retention College, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Senior Guidance Counselor, Raleigh Military Entrance Processing Station, Raleigh, North Carolina, Operations Sergeant Major, Raleigh Recruiting Battalion, Raleigh, North Carolina, First Sergeant of the Raleigh Recruiting Company, Raleigh Recruiting Battalion, Senior Guidance Counselor, Raleigh Military Entrance Processing Station, and deployments in Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom. His awards and decorations include the Military Service Medal, 1 Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Commendation Medal, 4 Oak Leaf Clusters, Joint Service Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 6 Oak Leaf Clusters, Army Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, the Global War and Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal with 3 Korean Service Medal, Military Out Service Voluntary Service Medal, Non-Commissioned Officer Professional Development Ribbon, Overseas Ribbon, Army Presidential Unit Citation, Joint Meritorious Unit Award, Army Superior Unit Award, the Gold Recruiter Badge, the Gold Recruiter Ring, the Glenn E. Morrill Award, the Recruiting Excellence Medallion, and the Basic Instructor Badge, Driver and Mechanic Badge. First Sergeant Roldan received a citation from Major General May in Iraq, awarded with combat spurs. He also has been inducted into the as a Kentucky Colonel. First Sergeant Roldan is a loving father of 4 wonderful children and married to his beautiful wife of 16 years, Kaisha. At this time, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Newgate to come up and say some wonderful remarks about First Sergeant Roldan.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's good to be here. Good to be out of the office for this great occasion. It's bittersweet as we acknowledge all the achievements and the support that we've received as an organization from now First Sergeant Roldan. He's been Master Sergeant Roldan, but the Army acknowledges his achievements, and we're going to retire him as a First Sergeant today. This event is really about his family. So, your support over his 25 years of military service. This event here today really acknowledges your guys' continued support for him, and this is for you guys. So, really, thank you from the bottom of our heart, from our organization, for your willingness to travel from New Jersey, and your continued support through his career, because it's significant, and it's we all as soldiers know how important that is for our families and our friends and peers alike. So truly thank you guys for your continued support. This is for you, right? We honor him, but we slap him on the back almost every day, and he's one of our team, right? But we don't get to see you or spend time with you guys, so really appreciate you guys' support and your attendance today. First Sergeant Brian Roldan has been assigned to this battalion since December 2017 is what I looked up, right? 17, a little more than 4 years. I've only been here for 9 months, and as a Special Forces officer, one thing you must learn to do is to assess your environment very quickly and learn who the most respected and influential people are in a community. You don't have to be the smartest guy in all things, but you you need to know who and where to find the answers from, and who to call to get things done. Brian Roldan is that guy. He's when I showed up here first, I think the lady I replaced, the first place she took me was to MEPS, raw MEPS, to show me the significance of what they do there. The first person I met was First Roldan, and this is truly the guy that's running the show over there on behalf of the Army, and so that is I knew from day one that this was a guy that I was going to have to lean on for his support. To be a career recruiting non-commissioned officer, you must first successfully perform the duties of a recruiting NCO. Volunteer for reclassification, pass the scrutiny of your supervisors, be boarded and recommended by those who will become your peers, and ultimately approved by the chain of command. This process is an evaluation of not only your past performance, but of your character, your personality, and the potential to lead in a high stress, high demand, and frankly resource-constrained environment. To be selected as a first sergeant, she served here in Raleigh Battalion. It's a mark of distinction, truly it is. Your success in this battalion as a first sergeant and the decision to keep you here as a senior guidance counselor speaks volumes to the confidence that you demonstrated and the trust and confidence that you gained within this organization, without a doubt. As a senior guidance counselor, you've served at a critical point in the accomplishment of this unit's mission. The success of our soldiers and the lives of many soldiers in the Army formations today are a result. You had a personal touch on those. At the Military Insurance Processing Station, or MEPS, as we say, you worked as an Army liaison office. That term, liaison, as a young officer, I didn't have much understanding or significance or appreciation for that position. But as my experience grew and as I served in a liaison position, I gained to fully understand the significance of that position. All things that we do in this battalion flows through MEPS. And MEPS is an external organization. Many of those guys are here today representing that command and their support for Brian. It's a joint command. It's external from USAREC, from the Army. As a joint command, you must learn to speak the language and integrate different cultures, different military cultures, and the civilian workforce cultures. You've served as a mentor there. You've served as an advisor for commanders and for other company level leadership, investigator, problem solver, taskmaster, and a supervisor over there. And most importantly, you're a valued teammate. That's really what I value the most about you. As a career recruiting non-commissioned officer, First Sergeant Roldan is undoubtedly personally involved in jobs of at least an entire brigade combat team's worth of people. That's probably about 4,000 to 5,000 people if you think about it out there in the Army today. He's touched those lives through his time here, just in Raleigh time alone. And so you've as a soldier, you've sacrificed a majority of your life for the service of this nation, and without a doubt, we appreciate your support today. And I look forward to your comments. You're the star of the show today, so I'm going to get off the stage. But I'll tell you, Master Sergeant Roldan is one that will be missed. He's going to leave a hole where he leaves. We've got some guys that are going to fill the gap as much as they can, but he's going to be a hard person to replace. The Army has failed to replace him yet because they can't find somebody of equal caliber to bring to replace him. So we're going to have to wait a while until that guy's grown, probably. But in the meantime, we've got guys that are going to fill the space as much as we can. But Brian is going to be missed in his battalion. We hope that you guys enjoy more of his time. He's one of the guys that works probably the earliest and stays the latest in his battalion, without a doubt. And so now he gets to be home. I asked him what he was going to do with all his free time. He said he was just going to take some time and spend time with family. So that's great. It's well deserved. And he's always welcome back here to Roldan. We've got plenty of work for you to do. So, but definitely a source of great information. So we would definitely lean on him if he ever gave us the opportunity again. So appreciate it again, First Sergeant, and without further ado, turn it back over to the narrator.
This time, I'd like to welcome Sergeant Major Cullen to the stage.
All right. Good morning. I save my comments for Master Sergeant Roldan, First Sergeant Roldan today as we retire him. I'd first like to start out by saying thank you to the folks here at the Museum of History in North Carolina for reacting to what we would call a normal military ceremony where things just go wrong, but we appreciate everyone's flexibility. The second thing I would like to note is that as we read through First Sergeant Roldan's history, we've determined that he spent most of his career in school or some sort of course. I've never seen somebody been through so many courses, but I think last time I looked at your SRB, I guess it just didn't jump out at me, but you've been through a lot of educating, and it's clear and it's obvious today why you've been such a benefit and an asset to the Raleigh Recruiting Battalion. So the Army got that part right by constantly keeping you in school. You know, the thing about First Sergeant Roldan working over at the MEPS is it takes a special patience to work at the MEPS. You got the least experienced people doing the majority of the work, and it really gets highlighted. And I'll tell you, I've been over there early mornings, I've been over there in the afternoons, and it seems like they're constantly fixing something. And it's always like that. And a lot of times it never even gets you know, broadcasted to the field, the things that they do to keep things running. So I want to tell you that I sincerely thank you for all the extra things that you do throughout the day, you and your team, that a lot of times go unnoticed. I know it can be a thankless job, but I want to say thank you for leading the team and ensuring that those little mishaps are corrected each and every day. You know, years ago, probably about 15 years ago, I had a general officer tell a little story that stuck with me, and you know, I don't think I've ever shared it. I'm not sure why, but I don't think I've ever shared it since I've been in the military. You know, for the last 15 years. And you know, typically general officers are in their 50s or 60s because it takes a while to get up that high. But they had. You know, it was a general who went back home and he was spending some time with some of his friends and colleagues from years before he had joined the military while he was in high school and college. And you know, they had all went on to do different things. And you know, he chose the military route, but many of them were civilians, and you know, they were successful executives at these very you know, fortunate, high-paying positions at these companies, and they were sitting around, having some bourbon, drinking a little bit of whiskey, and one of them opened up to him and said, I oftentimes wake up in a cold sweat, and I can't get control of myself. I'm in a panic, and after a few minutes, I calm down and I think to myself, I'm a relatively successful person. However, I feel like I just haven't given anything or done anything for my country or for my community in the way that you have. And this happens probably once or twice a month to me, and it's been happening for years. And I'm at the point where I don't think that I can do anything about it because I'm too old now, right? And as that general had shared that story, of course he told it a little better than I did, being that he lived it firsthand. He looked at each and every one of us and said, "You will never have to worry about waking up in a cold sweat, wondering if you've done enough or if you've contributed to the country in which you have served. You served the United States Army honorably, First Sergeant Roldan, and you've been around the world. You've been all over this country, stationed, working hard to ensure that we never go back to drafting Americans to go and fight wars. We're an all-volunteer force, and you have personally invested yourself in ways that you'll never even understand or even realize that have led to ensuring that Americans are out there fighting wars voluntarily, and that we are keeping this country safe, and that you will not be waking up any cold sweats wondering if you've done enough. You have done plenty. In fact, 25 years of service is, in my opinion, more than plenty. I mean, you've served longer than I'm going to serve, and I applaud you for that. But you will be truly missed by the Bulldogs. You are going to be missed by the civilians and the military service members at MEPCOM. And I'll tell you, like the Colonel said, we can't find a replacement for you. But it's not often that we do find someone who has previous first sergeant time to go into that role. You get it. You understand what it means to serve in the field, and you also understand what it takes to get things into the Army and get people through the pipeline, and it's tough. So I want to say thank you. You will be missed. I'm going to be disappointed whenever I come back over to the office and I don't see Nehemiah's drawings up on your wall and see all the cool things that he's put together in recent weeks. But I'll miss our conversations. I appreciate you always being there. It didn't matter if it was a weekend, day or night. You were always there. You always answered the call, and you were always quick to respond. And I didn't call you to BS with you. A lot of times I was calling because it was important, and you acknowledged that, and I appreciate it. You'll be missed. I want to thank you for your service to this country. I want to thank you to your service to the Raleigh Recruiting Battalion. And you got my number. I'll always be available to you. Thank you so much.
So at this time, I'd like to welcome First Sergeant Brian Roldan to give his remarks, and then we'll move into the award presentation.
I think I've ever seen it this quiet. Made me more nervous. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. From my days as an MC at the schoolhouse, I always remember the speeches. The speakers coming in saying there's 3 B's to a speech. You might have heard it. Somebody probably heard that. But I was doing my research for my actual speech here, and I found that there was 5. And it's just be brief, brother, be brief. Okay, so I will try to give it a valiant try to keep it as brief as possible. But first and foremost, I want to thank God for allowing me to be here today, just to be able to have the experience and just a great career. I want to thank all of those that made it here today, all the soldiers, my fellow comrades out there, officers, and especially my family. Truly, truly humbled and honored to have you here, all celebrating with me in this momentous occasion. To those that couldn't make it, and to those that are watching online, just thank you. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here. I know it's early in the week, so I know it's kind of hard. A lot of people kind of contacted back and couldn't make it, so just thank you for following online. So just thank you for acknowledging that. I have to admit, I struggled to write this speech. Not so much because I couldn't find the words. Anybody who knows me know I have no problem with finding words. But it was because this was kind of, in some sense, my final Army speech. So as I've come to the end of my career, I've started remembering how it all started. I remember always saying I would never join the Army. And my oldest was born. Then I realized how important healthcare was. Needless to say, I enlisted for 3 years as a mechanic. I told myself that after that I would get out. Well, we all know how that story ends. But I mean, Sergeant, nearly 2 years, I started to see that it really wasn't that hard. As long as you do what you're told, take care of soldiers, and most importantly, don't mess with Uncle Sam's money. So I won't continue to bore you with all that I've been through during my career. Hell, my bio covered most of it. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention a few behind-the-scenes moments. I remember vividly moments that I was promoted to my non-commissioned officer ranks. For my civilians out there, for those who didn't know, So a non-commissioned officer in the Army is just someone who hasn't been commissioned as an officer, but still holds a position of training and mentoring these soldiers. So, it's hard to say what was the most significant promotion of my career because I was blessed to have being promoted. But I remember pinning on sergeant in my first years in recruiting. I was so tired of people calling me Corp. That's short for corporal. Right? I remember receiving a page. Yes, we had pagers back then in recruiting command. Yes, it was long ago. But I called back just to get the great news. It was a great time, even though it still took me a minute for them to stop calling me Corp. I got so used to it. My promotion to staff sergeant was different. This was significant for two reasons. One, because it happened in the combat zone. And two, the reason was far more important than that was my supervisor and my friend had a chance to pin me. Not too long after that, he was taken from us, so may God rest his soul. What I thought was going to be the toughest was our first class. So this is the 7th rank out of 9, for those of you who don't know. I was getting closer to my goal of 9. I was just excited about that. At the time I was able to pin, my lovely wife was able to pin me. I felt that was a significant emotional event for everybody because my soldiers got a chance to see my wife show up in her undercover police car with a weapon on her hip. Needless to say, I got cool points that day. Now fast forward, after a long time of waiting, I got the call and I made the list to pin on 8. And that's the rank that I'm retiring today. You can imagine my excitement. I'd be lying if I say I didn't say it about time though. To me, this was a great time because I felt like with this one promotion, I got promoted twice. Because shortly I was offered the rank and opportunity to become a first sergeant. This was such an amazing honor. For those that don't know what that is, it was the first time I would be teaming up with a captain to lead a company of soldiers. It was an honor. It was an honor that not everyone gets, yet I was chosen. This is where my journey comes to a close. 25 years, a quarter of a century. I can honestly say it went by in a blink of an eye. I want to thank each and every soldier that I had the opportunity to serve with and mentor. I want to thank the leaders that I've served under for the guidance and mentorship throughout my career. I want to thank the officers that I've worked with that took the time out to actually listen to what I had to say, and in some instances, even use what I said to make their decisions. I want to thank my mother and my father. I want to thank my mother and father for being there for me always and pushing hard, molding me and shaping me into becoming the man I am today. I want to thank my children, Jason, Brian, Tatiana, and Nehemiah. I love you all so much. I've been a soldier your whole lives. You've seen me come and go with so many ball games and events that I've missed. Yet through all that, you've always loved me and brought that smile to my face. I want to thank you all to know, I want you all to know that you were and always have been my motivation. I'm so proud of you, despite all the times I had to work, or even when I was deployed, and you're always here doing your best and becoming amazing young adults. I'm blessed to be called dad. And father to my wife. And I told myself I won't. All right, excuse me. There's so much I could say, but nothing is stronger than thank you. Thank you for having my back. Thank you for reading more of those speeches. Excuse me. Thank you for being my voice for reason. Sometimes keep me out of trouble. Thank you for being willing to be here early mornings and late nights alone because I had to make mission. Thank you for being my cheerleader and my coach. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for pushing me when I would get frustrated. Every battle, every mission, every mission success, every time I got counsel or gave counsel, you were there with me. Unbiased mind to dust me off and get me back out there. You were and are the epitome battle buddy, and I love you. First Sergeant, retired, sign off.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal to First Sergeant Brian G. Petition orders. For exceptionally meritorious service while assigned as the Senior Guidance Counselor for the Raleigh Recruiting Battalion, First Sergeant Brian Roldan's superb performance, selfless service, dedication and duty are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service, reflecting great credit upon him, the United States Army Recruiting Command, and the United States Army. This 16th day of March 2022, signed Major General Kevin Vereen. At this time, First Sergeant Brian Roldan will be awarded a certificate of retirement. To all who shall see these presents greeting to this certify that First Sergeant Brian Roldan, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Army on the 30th day of June 2022. Ms. Kaisha Roldan, will you please join us on the stage? This certificate of appreciation is presented to Ms. Kaisha Roldan for her continued support of her husband, First Sergeant Roldan, during his time in the service. At this time, will Mr. Ronald Roldan, Ms. Carol Roldan, and Nehemiah Roldan please join us on the stage. At this time, First Sergeant will present gifts to his child Nehemiah, his father Ronald, flowers to his wife Kaisha, and his mother Carol. Please be seated. At this time, the ceremony of holding the flag and presentation of the flag will begin. I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over the great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident, I am arrogant, and I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors are a little truer, and a bow to no other. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I was flown in the Valley of Forge, Gettysburg, Potomac, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, Oregon Forest, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Guadalcanal, Kreta, Saigon, Vietnam, Grande Panama, Persian Gulf, the mountains of Afghanistan, the streets of Baghdad, and these score places long forgotten by all but those who were with me. I was there. I led my servicemen, I followed them, I watched over them, they loved me. I was on a small hill, Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. The servicemen cheered me, and I was proud. I've been soiled, burned, torn, trampled on the streets of my own country. When it was by those whom I have served in battle, it hurts. I've been soiled, burned, and torn on the streets of countries that have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country, and when it was by those of whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand and watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I've been silent witness to all America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I am torn in stripes to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-staff to honor my servicemen, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieved mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I weave, dear God, long may I wave. This flag is a true emblem of our unity, power, and purpose as a nation. Accept it, protect it, and be ever mindful that the young men and women you have trained, led, inspired throughout your outstanding career will follow you in the footsteps and defend this flag with equal pride. First Sergeant Roldan will now be presented with the flag of the United States of America. At this time, would anyone like to make any remarks, presentations? If you would please limit their remarks to less than a minute.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Major Buck, Commander of the Raleigh MEPS. I did want to make a couple brief remarks. First Sergeant Roldan, as has already been mentioned, probably had the hardest job at the Raleigh MEPS. And everybody knows who's worked at the MEPS doesn't matter if you have 5 people on the floor or 50, there's going to be an issue that day, right? And a lot of that fell at the feet of the Army, just because of the throughput that you guys put through. And I'll tell you, the person I could always rely on to be calm, cool, and collected was First Sergeant Roldan. Always had an answer to any issue, always gave me advice on what we should do, always a good way forward, and I'm really going to miss that, to be honest. I spent a lot of time in your office, you spent a lot of time in my office. You're going to be truly missed, and I hope you enjoy retirement. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, present to you U.S. Army retiree, First Sergeant Brian Roldan.
that is